Hello, kind folks. I here doing this thing. Just gonna um, printing. Oh, the 10. All right, here we are. Good. Okay, let me get back to our. Uh-huh. Okay, so we're just gonna start here. How do I want to start? Well, of course, we have some of our finished minis that will be just simply painting today. Breathe there, but of course we have some that have printed out that we still need to remove this, which we still need to remove. So I might work on focusing on our giveaway ones here. Because it's not a giveaway one, they're just done under a different concept first. For our giveaway friends here. I think what we'll do is begin with these with priming. Got to get my what was I using? The plate? Go get that. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, our highly refined, very expensive paint palette. I have no company it is. Has to get my coffee away from my elbow first over here. Yes. This. Somewhere else, but somewhere safe. Okay. So I don't have a particular direction I want to go with these. I'm gonna finish. You can see some of the support nubs are still left on the bottom there. Gonna clean those up a little bit away from my paint plate. I'll does a great job of just catching us as it go everywhere. Just kind of in there, those up. Flush pliers. Get everything nice and pretty. Very good work. Oops. Get used to not being there, so sorry. A little bit of sand here too. You see where the camera is, don't I? Smooth that out. Now this is the bottom. It's not really going to be seen ever on stream, Actually, this is a giveaway one anyway, so, but you know, because it's a giveaway one, just want it to be very nicest version. A lot of the production ones, it doesn't matter so much what's going on underneath, you know, because it's all about camera, what that's going to pick up. But these are giveaways for the channel, and they're lovely, amazing viewers, subscribers, and patrons, Patreon subscribers, as well as Twitch subscribers. Each have their own giveaway, as well as viewers. I really just want to make sure it's as nice as I can possibly make it. Top quality. These have been printed, cured, and everything else. I've already removed the supports, obviously, from the printing thing. Hey, Zen. Hey, Zen. Yeah, it's going all right. I'm finally getting our from print to paint here going. And it's pretty exciting. It's 2 hours late because of setup issues. So glad to have you here. Working on our giveaway minis first and foremost. Just trying to get them extra cleaned up here. I'd already gone through and gotten everything I need to do everywhere else on the mini, but production-wise, I don't usually look or care too much about the underneath. But since they're going to, you know, out to folks that won the things, I want to make sure they're looking as nice as possible. Did you win one, Zen? I've got a list. Yeah, I mean, you know my memory, right? I've got a list somewhere, but I've been out of everything for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, so I can't remember it all. Probably just click on Discord real quick and look, but because you're here, so I'll probably, you know, if you won one, please take a second, right? The Field Genasi Drew, thank you. Oh, yeah, with this leaf shield. So Lily lost her mind over this. I mean, that might be, yeah, is that not an exaggeration? It's accurate. As did I. That's the super cool shield with the leaf. Now, this is actually your second print. I printed one out, and sadly, it got broken. The only one that got broken in a move from one space to another, and the sword and part of the arm broke off. So this is actually a second print. But doesn't that look nice? And shield, Lily and I lost our minds over this shield. It's just, I don't know. It's simple, but it's really flipping cool too. The flowing hair, it's amazing. And as best as it would print, what's the name? Printer's really nice. It's a really nice printer. The only reason the name got a little, you know, a little bit worn out here are some of the supports and stuff. First time chat, oh my. Hi Vic, nature weapons, yes. No big in the, oh good. It's mostly there, and I think I can clean up a little with a little bit of sanding here. We're just gonna pull some of the supports around it. Just give it the lightest of sandings. Really don't want to affect the name too much. But just want it to look very highest quality I can get it here for you. For all your support and amazingness. Quite a while now too. We appreciate you. I'm surprised you're not sick of this face and the content. The content's great because it involves a lot of amazing people, but I appreciate that you've seen what we're about and you're sticking around. Thanks, Ed. Thank you. Oh yeah. So I'll do that usually for my campaigns, but not always. You know, it's the brain. Sometimes the brain just turns off, and then I'm like, oh, but you have to go back and buy it again if you change anything, even adding a name. So there are some campaign minis that do not have the name underneath. We'll get a little pick later, I think, and try and clear that out. I'm going to start with priming these, and then we'll go into these other ones that still have the supports. Actually, before we remove the supports, I think what we'll do is we'll prime these, and then we'll go into the program I use to add supports to the mini files, because I have other things I need to print actually right now. Oh, thanks, Ed. And so you get to see like how, you know, the supports are configured and what that looks like in that program. Then I've got a little time lapse of the printing process, or the latter half of a printing process for these minis. And then by then, the primer should be pretty dry on these so we can get to work. But when we come back from that, we'll probably remove supports to give that a little extra time to dry. You can see that process too. As you know, it can be a tricky process depending on the mini. This is one of Lily's mermaid. A ninja mermaid, it looks like they've got a mask on. We have here Renarius, because we've got minis for the Forsaken. And then this rando for Saturday night's campaign you'll find out. You'll find out. Get the inside track here from Print to Paint. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and clean up these others as needed bases here. Now, viewers from those giveaways had a choice of minis from whichever campaign. It was a 50th episode for An Extremis, 100th episode for the Forsaken. So the Twitch subscribers had an option of custom mini. They could do something from any of the campaigns or a custom mini. And of course, the Patreon supporters also had that option, but get a fun one of these glass bottles right there. Extra goodies to come along with it, depending on where and how you support. But even just viewing, you'll get options. The great part is, like, you know, as a viewer, we still super appreciate your just support and being here and showing up and being a part of, you know, the experience with us. And so when you get to pick a mini from a campaign, like, you know, yeah, you could pick Breelith. Someone chose, I think it was Trisha that won the viewer one, and she wanted Breelith. But, you know, a viewer can pick one out, and, you know, it's not Breelith everywhere, right? It could just be a why isn't it want to pick up here? Maybe I'm too close. You know, it just looks like a Firbolg with a staff. That could be a bunch of things, you know. And when you get to choose from 5 or 6 characters, you know, who knows? You could pick a Kazeel, and it can just be a half elf with a trench coat and some blades. You know, still really works nicely. There's actually a Patreon tier, the top. I think it's the highest tier, where you get a mini every month. Just get a mini, printed, painted. It's on the show here. Okay, so we've got a few of these lightly sanded. Gerbil, where are we? I believe Michelle won one of the other. I gotta clear those off this bum. Viewer ones, and so she wanted Gerbil. We've got Gerbil's also a reprint. Sadly, now there's a Gerbil print that's for the campaign. As I've printed the Forsaken as well, so we can start having those with actual minis. Get all the production stuff set up. Steph does lights and cameras and everything. But the second the giveaway Gerbil broke the top half of his bow, and it was just in the print, and it was such a bummer. I've gotten different resin to try. I do like this resin, and it works well for a lot of things, But I found, over the course of printing a number of minis, that not that it's fragile, but that, I mean, minis break, right? You drop them, they break. You drop them far enough. But I found one more specifically. It came in 3 colors of black, 3 shades of black. But it's supposed to be really, really resilient to breaking when dropping. So, and then, again, it's a black resin and a fair bit pricier, but I'm going to give it a shot. I've got it here, and I'm going to see how that works. I mean, minis drop, you know, they catch on things, and especially, you know, with a lot of play we have across the channel. I just would hate to see any of that. Let's finish sanding off the underside. Yeah, not such a big deal for production, but when it's viewers, and when it's viewers, you know, when it's people that have won the giveaways, we really want it to just be top-notch quality all around. This is just a relatively rough, I'm sorry, medium grit sandpaper. I want to obliterate it, but we're not at that level where we need it to be super fine. Yeah, we'll be here all day if we do that. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. Then we have this other one. Oh, look at that. It's a little cape. Let's see if it'll focus here. Maybe because these other things are in the back. Ooh, fancy. Put my hands on. Yeah. Nice. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I already got that one. Good. So we'll get to a little priming. All right, we'll bring out again our super pricey, high-tech painter's palette. There we go. Put the prints down. And I don't have any particular direction. I have gray primer currently. I have to get some white primer and black primer, so, you know, it affects the overall shading, you know, of the print. We're using gray as a middle ground right now. Do you build the sports custom, or does software do it for you? So that's a great question, Zen. A little of both. The most common software is free. It's Chitubox, and I use that, and it does have an auto option. You can change the density, how many supports it's going to throw on there. And I'm usually somewhere in the middle ground that I will put on. So it depends. Typically, I'll slap on like a 69% density, because that's, you know, just a number I go to when I'm in that range. Or downwards toward 50, depending. And then I'll go through and you can remove individual supports and add additional supports. And so I'll do that if that's gonna work the best. There is some minis where it just does a garbage job of telling like where it should put when it looks at the density, like which ones it's not adding, which ones it is. And I'll go through and just add them one at a time. Minis are pretty easy to clean off, and so I kind of let it do its thing with minis for the most part. But I don't have the box out right now, but I could probably show you in the program when we get to that part. I'm doing 3D tiles, 3D maps. So there's floors, walls, structures, buildings, roads, sewers, you know, cave system stuff. And for some of those, they're chunkier pieces. And then I really need to have, it gets tricky because you want to have it not bow anywhere or sag, so it can be perfectly flat. But you don't want 800 million supports either. So there's an art to it that I am maybe 30% of figuring out. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I really love this stuff. I've got to be honest. Let me shake this up a little bit more. it's pretty exciting. Don't get that on screen, that's what everyone wants to see. um, it's really cool. It really is, from like the design of it, not you know, a lot of these I'll download as an STL file, a 3D printable file from Hero Forge, and then put it in, you know, to Kaiju Box, add the supports, and just the workflow itself is really fun and really cool. The prints, you know, you can change the settings for the printer too. How thick is each layer it's printing? How long is it exposed to the? It hardens the resin. It's not the old printer that uses the filament nozzle. This is one that uses a plate that dips down into the resin, and underneath this resin pool, the base of which, the bottom panel which is clear, is an LCD, and it uses light, infrared light through that to harden resin in whatever shape, you know, it's each layer is set to. So it kind of prints it one little layer at a time, adding up, so it prints upside down because it dips down, gets the next layer zapped on, and moves up, and so that more resin can fill the space, and down it goes. You know, you've got to configure it goes down ever so slightly. So watching it print is cool, but the print time can vary quite a bit. Also on the print size itself, that should be pointing now, like these. Printing these in one shot instead of assembling them was quite a bit. Now these came pre-supported, so I didn't have to do that. Unfortunately, there was a misprint on one of the propellers here in the back, but because it printed with like some warping and damage, I'm just putting it in canon as it's just damage it's taken from battle. Had that Clash of the Colossi and Extremis on Saturday nights here, and so I'm just, you know, saying it's that. But you can see here, I mean, look at these things, right? Sorry, I should have just done it here. You can see the damage. It just didn't print, and when it doesn't, when the supports fail, it's just like a free-floating slice that it's printing that goes off into the ether, and you can see how I got a number of those here. But it looks like really cool damage too, right? Like scorching damage across. So I was like, yeah, I'll just chalk it up to that huge battle. This is the Admiral Ruthlonius, the pirate admiral ship, the Dreadnought. This is what came and saved the crew on Saturday night. And then that new ship for the United Aviation Federation on Friday night's Sky Pirate campaign, Saturday night's Sky Pirate campaign. The Peacekeeper, I think it was a Peacekeeper, no, something like that. That's this one. This one printed successfully. So I've got him here in case I end up wearing it. It looks like it ripped off something. That's pretty much it. I'll show you when we're in the program too, because it has like a nice slider bar to show you like if there's any phantom pieces that don't have support. Because it prints upside down, you know, it's printing this way. And so if suddenly there's a bottom of a staff, but nothing that's connecting it, what's it connected to? You know, it's just going to float there. It prints before the arm. So it's just going to float away and mess up the rest of your print. So it's a nice slider bar to show, like, is anything popping up that doesn't have a support? So we'll look at that. Well, all right, we are going to, so I've got a few brushes here. And these two are for some finer detail. I was using this one a lot. You can probably, if I hold it over this, you can see it's gotten pretty feathered there. But this one's good for getting in those very particular spots. It's not really gonna go. And then these are my big honking brushes for like base coats and stuff. So I think I'm just gonna go with this one for now, because we're just trying to get this stuff on. Now I'm gonna, ideally this won't be too Oh, Nightbot. This won't be too heavy or too thin. You know, we want the paint to stick. The primer to stick, but we don't want it to bob up. I do go a little bit heavy and then kind of brush off the excess. Seems to be the way that it works for me. Sorry, I can feel my AirPods about to fall out. Let me know if the music's too loud compared to my voice. I mean, I'm pretty loud just as a person, so I imagine it's okay. The levels look okay as I'm looking at them, but nothing knows better than you all. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. So we'll start with Relith. This is for Trisha. I'm just going in heavy here. This is way too heavy. This isn't what we want as an end result. But this is just the way I kind of go through. You can see, you know, it's just bubbled over the face. There's just a lot. But the way I do it is I kind of saturate it like this. And then I go back after I've cleaned the brush off and I remove it, the brush, all the excess. This way I can fill all the nooks and crannies that we're really going to want paint, and especially the wash later on to fit into, to fill into nicely. I just also don't want to let it go too long without cleaning it out because I don't want it to dry in this saturated format. It would be very blotty. We'd lose a lot of the detail of the crevices and everything. You know, if I drag this too far away, let me know. I will get the hang of this as I do this stream more often. But where things need to be is still new to me. So. All right, again, you can see it's just loaded up. That's okay. It's all right for now, as long as it don't take too long to get through this part. My attention might be a little focused on this over chat just for now. Nope, it's fine. Okay, good. Thank you, Zen. I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted some chill music. You know, this is my own little playlist I use when I do campaign prep. Little insight here. I do like my creative things, or when I have a need to de-stress when I'm doing something that just needs to be. It's all chill hop, lo-fi chill hop that I've put together into a Spotify playlist. I'll get under the legs and stuff a little bit. I'm not gonna. I'm so sorry, Breelith. I gotta get personal here for a second to get this primer in. Alright. I did a little light sanding on this beforehand in hopes of getting all of this to stick well. Because, you know, it doesn't really want to stick to the resin, but it's very smooth. We want this to stick so that the paint will stick. Okay, that's going to be good for now. Get rid of this, dry this up, and get in here before this dries too much. Alright, I'm just going to pull back out a lot of this from the areas where it's just soaked it up. Details back. You probably see, like, we can see her face again. There we go. Get this out of her hair a good bit. Use the plate here, but I mean our palette. Wipe and dry it off. Try and repeat the same pattern, you know, so the stuff that I did this to first gets cleared first before it dries. Alright, yeah, you can see all that finer detail, those rivets and peaks and valleys of her hair here coming back as we're just drawing off the excess. And it does a really good job, I've found, of coating it nicely. I just have to be very vigilant with making sure I'm not missing any areas. Because even one area of blob is, you know, gonna look not great. Get the correct angles here to hit it perpendicular. Brushing in both directions too to get it against both ends of these ruts and ravines. Really just want to make sure, for the face especially, it's so hard to get detail in there with the paint, but I really want to. Anything with a lot of detail. The fire here. I think it's fire anyway. Really, that fire? Maybe it's just Arcana. Maybe it's just magic, maybe. But if yes, it's been so long since we had battle, I just don't remember who was what Breelith. What can Breelith do? The ribbing and the gauntlets here. Really want to keep all that, maintain all that, especially the fingers too. Not a big blob hand. Alright, this off again. What kind of paint do you prefer? So far, I'm still using the first paint that I got. And this is Vallejo paint. And it's here, it's acrylic. And I think it does a nice job. Has a good number of base colors in these two kits that I've gotten, so I can mix things. I do a lot of mixing, blending paints to try and land on colors to match, you know, what people have shown in their, you know, when players or giveaway winners build this out in Hero Forge, you know, I do my best to make sure that, you know, I ask them to add color if they can, so that I can try and match that up, blend paints, match it up, get it as close to what they have envisioned for this as possible. This is looking pretty good. This is pretty good. We still need to get the base. I need to get this weapon a little more, but I just want to make sure I've removed all the excess and just left a nice, even coat of primer. I mean, check that. I feel this. I feel this works pretty well. You know, especially for resin. Certainly not perfect, but it really leaves. As I've got to get the base here. I got the little skeleton monuments, but I got to get the base and this weapon here. But you can see, like, even, you know, through her hair, we've retained all the details by pulling that with the dry brush back out. You know, and this way the paint will should, you know, stick much better when we want to getting the colors where we want them, and on the face here too. Yeah, we can see your face details again. That's good. That's good. All right, let me get this wet again and get this. We're definitely going to make sure paint sticks here. There's also some magic on top of the staff, so. I'll have to ask Steph what Breelith. I mean, I'm, you know, not sure what kind of what spells in particular she has. I want to make sure this kind of matches that vibe. Alright, again, just going very wet to get a good coating here, and I will pull that excess back out. The resin's so smooth, you know, it just slides around on it. Otherwise, I keep drawing that closer to myself instead of out where the camera's at. We'll eventually remember. All right. Alright, let's pull some of this back out here, a little back and forth brushing. Just trying to pull it back out of the grooves and leave a good bit on the smooth parts. just don't want clumpy grossness. You know, there's so much detail in these prints from Hero Forge that, you know, it would just be a royal shame to lose that with these clumpiness. Gosh, I've listened to this playlist so many times, and I still love it. And it still does the thing I needed to do. There's a beautiful song in here called Caught in the Rain. You have headphones. I'll try and be quiet during it. It's so amazing for like that anxiety ADHD brain to calm down. It's this beautifully chill song, and it has this rainfall in the background, and then it like crescendos, just the rain crescendos up to like a downpour level, and it's like, it just sounds so incredible, and then it dies back to like a regular soft rain, and it'll come back later on. It's just so peaceful. It really does feel like, you know, being caught in the rain, out somewhere running underneath an awning or something for cover, and just admiring the heavy rain in a overcast street with rain pouring down and fresh scent of rain. It was all right. Top is dried pretty well. I actually have a little stand. I need to put this on, which I forgot, but we'll do that for the next one. Gonna get in the bottom here. I'm a little less crazy town with this, with just splotching this up on the bottom here, because getting it back out of these, see if it'll show us crevices here for the stone tiles, just the angle, you know, I can't quite go perpendicular. I'm trying to remove it, and so it tends to fill up. So I do a little lighter and try and brush it almost across the surface. Bear, hi, and thank you for the sub. 22 months. Oh my gosh, it's almost 2 years, friend. That's awesome. Thank you so much. It's so exciting. We're working on minis from print to paint, all the way from the 3D printing process through that, up to the painting process. I'm just doing some, these are giveaway winners, so I'm doing some priming of those, and then we're gonna go in through, like, I think I forget what order I said, but probably the Chaitu box to show how we add supports to the 3D files that we get from Hero Forge and otherwise. And then we'll see the printing process, time lapse of it for this print that we did. Yeah, and go from there. Let me get this off here. Just talking a little bit about the way by which I do the priming. I don't know, Penny. Maybe it's a common way, maybe it's not. I've looked up a number of things about the painting, but one of the things I found myself struggling with early on was the priming. Because again, smooth resin doesn't want to stick. Yeah, Forsaken episode 100 and En Extremis episode 50. So we've got five friends here. No one won the Patreon one for one of them. There just weren't any Patreons there. Patreon supporters in chat for that one. All right, here we go. So you can see the kind of the difference, maybe between like the gray, the smooth gray of resin, and like a fully primed person. Yeah. So I'm gonna gently rest Relith up here. We'll keep her in screen, right? Thank you again, Baird, for the sub. It's so sweet. And thanks for hanging out. All right, I'm gonna get my little thingamabob here. I actually recommended this to Steph too. I think she's got one now as well. Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. Might need new tack. We'll see. done it pretty well. I love this. I love it, love it, love it, because you can pivot, you can get all sorts of different angles. It works really, really well. A little lighter when primed. Yeah, exactly. Yep, a little less of that matte. We get some texture, which of course is important for portraying reality. All right, so same thing. I'm gonna go in real heavy, and then I'll go in and pull out the excess. This one is somewhat of a smaller figure here, so this is with less going on as far as stabs and weapons and other things. So this one will probably get done real quick. Gotta get in those knuckles. I don't know if it's just me. I think it's it bothers me when you can't see distinct fingers once the painting's done, and that's, I feel like it's because it's one of the easiest places to lose reality, right? Like you want to portray this as a person, and if their hands are cubes, because the painting doesn't portray it, you don't get to see that, or because you blob it up with too much primer, then it's just such a waste. It has such a high impact for such a small little option. So I really like to make sure I get in there with this. Again, I this is my process. I don't know if anyone else does that. Maybe there's a bunch of terrible things with it, I don't know. But I struggle a lot with the priming at first because it doesn't stick to resin. It was splotchy, but doing it this way and just loading it up and then quickly before it dries going in and pulling out all that extra just works really well. It gives such an even coat, and just great. Yeah, I'll get the bottom after because Mason, people used old film canisters. Christian Wilson. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw like the bottle cap on different things. I have not used spray primer now. Secret stash jar is nice. No, I have not. I was just talking about, see how heavy I've gone in here on the primer. Like you can't really. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get it. Can't really see details. So I go really heavy, and then I'll go in with a dry brush, that so you can already see. Like, come on. I already see the details starting to come back in the face and stuff. It just seems like if I go really heavy and then before it dries, when it's only partially dried, like where it's in contact, and pull out all the excess out of those valleys, then all the detail returns, and I'm left with just a really nice even base coat. That's the other piece that was a big struggle, was having it remain even. I'll show you briefly when I'm done with this what else we'll be doing. The minis that have the support still on. Yeah. So just wiping that out of the hands leaves that nice coat, but then you can see the actual details of the fingers there, and it adds so much. Or rather, you just lose so much when you lose that. If a shirt, has an extra spotch on it, then whatever, it doesn't have the same impact. I'll be extra careful with the arms here too, because this character is pretty buff, and they're in a sleeveless setup, so they've got the guns out. They've got a lot of detail. Where are we? In the muscles. So I want to make sure that I'm not splotching that up either, so that we can honor that. The cuts around the shoulders and bicep and tricep here. Make sure I get it out. Fingers this side. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. This one. We've got some wrappings for their legs, so I want to make sure I get out of those divots too. Just it cleans up so nicely and leaves such a beautiful coat. That's the way I do it anyway. That was just something I kind of came up with. Proud of that. sure I get the back. Okay. Get the face, sorry. We get the face looking good here. Just gonna again try and get the base. I don't do it so much on the base here because it's really difficult to get it back out of the tiles here. Actually, I have a really tight net tile here. Oh, Mary. Oh. Yeah, it's a strain sometimes. NGL, my friend. NGL. Yeah, I got too much. It has some room for perpendicular drawing, which is nice. I also try not to leave any giant brush strokes too. That's just from like painting walls and stuff. Growing up doing some of that work. Blend brush strokes together and everything's obviously not huge swaths like a wall would be here, but if I can help it, I try and I do like to paint, and this is definitely just, you know, a thing for me. I'm going to add a little here because I like to paint this outer rim. Actually, this is a giveaway one, so I won't be doing that. But on the minis I use, this outer ring, and yeah, it's over here. Nope, too far. This outer ring here, I'll paint white for like friendlies, like player characters. And then allies have, I think it's blue, because I haven't done it in a while. And then like enemies have a red one. You know, if they're clear cut in the fight, because I can always change that. Sometimes, you know, enemies become friends, friends become enemy. I mean, just watch Stormfall, right? Jeez. All right, so our friend here, if it's going to focus on this, yeah, get this one. It's looking pretty good. I believe. Sorry. As I die a little, sorry. I think this might be Danny's? Danny Phantoms? Have to go back and check. Oh, well, it's lost focus. Alright, anyway, these come off pretty nicely off there. Oh my goodness. Well, that's broken. These come off nicely off the tack. Snap. Alright. Well, that's a bummer. Well, we'll be doing Danny's print again off the line. Broke off at the feet. That's so terrible. Oh, that's so sad. Well, we'll have to just make sure we pry everyone else's off. Oh, what a bummer. Well, that'll be the third reprint. We have a reprint on this one. Breaking. Yeah. And a print on this. I don't think I've ever had one just snap off at the feet like that. Maybe it's just, that's okay. We've got our new resin to try too. This is supposed to be extra resilient. Yeah. Yep, just pry it off at the base. Yep. Shame on me. I'm so sorry. I think it's Danny's mini. We'll have to get back to you. Oh. All right. Put on. Right, it's got the little base here. We can get that to stick nicely. Okay. Well, and we'll make sure we pry. 3 copies at a time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, right. I was going to take a second and share. Let's see. Since you're here, Mason, we'll do... There we go. We have Zivar. So of course we'll be removing the minis from the supports, or the supports from the minis, and part of the show too. Yeah. But we have all the Forsaken folks. No, you're fine, Zen. Anyway, see, it still works. It's still attached nicely. And thankfully, you know, I mean, I hate that anyone's broke, but I'm a little relieved that it wasn't yours, like, since you're here watching. You didn't have to experience that. Okay. So, just gonna fix these AirPods again. Alright. Now, let's get to work. Ugh, an amazing character. I love that. Love it, man. Design the nasty flowing hair. Which type of, what was their element again? Zen? Shield. Cool. Thing going in heavy, we'll pull it out. Yeah. Water. Oh, I love that. It looks like their hair just floats in water, right? Like it floats up above their head or out and around as though they're underwater. So cool. A little personal there. I'm so sorry. Somebody played a water genasi. Oh, it was Sarah, who plays Ashavar in Saturday Night's campaign. She played in the very first few episodes of Stormfall. A character called Rinwin, who's a water genasi. She had a homebrew deity that she referenced a movie or a book series or something. I didn't know it, but it was basically a gigantic. The deity was like humanoid form made out of water that walked along the surface of the ocean, drawing all the water up into their form. And I just felt that was pretty cool. But I always love describing her hair when introducing her to someone new. Just because it seems so cool. It seems so cool to be floating in water like that. Here we go. Under and around here. Sometimes, you know, getting around and inside here, clothing can be a little bit tricky. But it's always been doable. Want to make sure I don't miss a spot where later paint doesn't want to stick. Alright, again, I'm going to get a little personal here. Alright, her. So I'm going to get in before anything dries too much. Start pulling this out. Let's see. If I don't stay long enough to see live, I'm definitely going to watch the VOD. If you go all the way. Yeah, nice. I think with Zavar, at a minimum, I'm going to be removing the supports. And then, you know, maximum will prime and paint. At a minimum, I'll be pulling the supports off, though, for sure. Get all this beautiful detail back in this water flowing hair face. Again, I keep doing this way off camera. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can. I think I can get the focus to lock. How do I block it though? Whatever. Here we are. Working for right now. Hold off. Type it. Palette. Yeah, it starts really bringing all that lovely peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. Observe all of that depth quickly too, because the thing's so beautiful. Really don't want to lose any detail on things that in focus. Oh, so cool. In the face there nicely. Underside of the hair. All right. Any details on the belt here? You notice again, I'm drawing this off screen. There's usually some fine detail work on the belt and the satchels and stuff. So. Here. Preserve as much of the detail as possible. This is going to be fun to paint, I can tell you already. I'll go back and get the sword primed here in a minute. Really wanted to get into all this other stuff before before it started drying too much. Boots is usually, you know, some of the finer detail in the boots and shoes. So yeah, very druidic going around. I love it. Back of the shield here too. This is easy to forget is underside of things, but I really want to again get those fingers and hands. All this nice clasp work and here. Okay, get the other shin. Let's get this dabbed up again. Get the sword done as well. I typically try and go in the direction of the material too, as I envision it, along the along the grain of things, because I know sometimes it's almost imperceptible, but our brains will pick that stuff up. Brains are great like that. Push too much off of it. Okay. Yeah, I want to hold it in the screen. That's helpful. All right. Have to get flame down here, or the magic. Okay. I believe it's magic. Easier to tell in the file, the 3D print file. That adds all that detail. All right, I think we've got some. Oh, right, the water genasi. So we've got a starfish down here. Look at this. Nice work, Zen. Good work. So fun. Oh, it's gonna be so fun to paint. So fun to paint, Zen. All right. Okay. Get the edges here. Do you have a preference then when we get to paint? Do you want that very edge here to be a different color? I mean, I guess, you know, I can just check in too as we're working. I can message you if you're not here, and we'll just do the work after I hear the info. Once we're painting, you know, I can just set it aside. Set it aside and wait for responses from folks. I should look. You did it in color in the thing, so I'll just take a look there and see. But if you have anything in mind, separate from that, let me know. It's gonna be so cool. There's like little sand dollars and stuff too. All right, let's take a look. Get this in the water. Okay. Yep. Beautiful flowing hair. Okay. Let's carefully tie this at the base. The edge is dark blue. Oh, nice. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Get under here. Make sure it's loose. very carefully. Right next to Relith here. Oh, I'm so sorry, Danny. I mean, it doesn't matter because I just need to print another one, but so sad. All right, I think this is the other. I think this is cookies. Cookie one. I think this is theirs. Look here. Focus here. I think if I. There we go. Yeah. Cool cape and such. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mason. Yeah, indeed. I've never experienced that. Like I've had minis break. There was one that broke twice because the only point that connected them to the base was the toes and ball of a foot. They were up in one of those poses, and I was like, but never just from like that gentle pressure of tipping them. This stuff, the tack on here is very old and is ready to be changed. I was not ready for that. But you're right. I will every time use my offset blush pliers there, henceforth. All right, so we're gonna again get this and another one, and we'll move on to ChaijuBox, where we actually add supports to 3D files, and then create the actual file that the 3D printer will recognize. And we're just gonna kind of cruise through here. And again, these 5 that we're working on are all for winners of giveaways. These minis are giveaways for our viewers and supporters. There's anytime we have, or we've started anyway, anytime we have a big anything to celebrate, like the Forsaken 100th episode. And yeah, exactly, Mason. Yeah, that was on 1 foot. The other was in the air. I'll just give folks a warning in the future, like I can do this, but listen, I've got other resins supposed to be really strong for minis and stuff, so we'll see. Right, so we've got these. We had 100th episode of The Forsaken, one of our D&D campaigns, and 50th episode of En Extremis, just another one of our many D&D campaigns on the channel. So we had giveaways. There was one for everyone. Viewers, you're there, you're chilling with us. You get to go in and try and have a try and win one. For those folks, it's any one of the characters in that campaign that you're watching. Then we had one for Twitch subscribers, separate from that, where they could have a custom mini made, which is what most of these are. And then one for our Patreon subscribers, where you could also do a custom mini, but again, you can get one of these cool glass, like potion bottles as well. And so just one of the ways we can kind of give back to all the amazing folks that support us, whether that's just hanging out and watching, or supporting in a monetary way. Want to get those extra tiers of giveaway for the folks that are contributing and like in a monetary way, of course. There's also, I mentioned a little earlier, there's a Patreon tier where you get a free custom mini. I mean, free. I mean, you're paying for the Patreon tier, but it comes with a custom mini every month. Every month, you could make a new one. It'll kind of be on the show here. Prime painted and mailed right to you. You can build up a whole store of it. I mean, if you get one, it's the highest tier we have, which was 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, something like that. So I think it's a $50 tier. There's also a bunch of other stuff that comes with it that's fun. like offline one shots and stuff like that. You can just chill and have a one shot. But you know, that's kind of the cost anyway. You go to Hero Forge and you want to have a decent mini made and printed. Plus, you can do extra large ones in Hero Forge. Yes. Oh, Zen, they're so neat. And they don't come with the filling, right? But oh, did they on their bat? I get these little $5 Orbeez and fill it up with water so that they take on it looks like liquid. It just takes on the color of the little Orbeez. This one's just one static color, but I have a bunch of different colors, and put it in here. You can see the Orbeez that way, because it's looking through the air pocket part. But yeah, they're really neat. I usually do them so they have like a gradient. I think all those are also up top for to reach. So, all right. Get up behind the cape here. Get it all around. Be a little tricky to get in some areas sometimes with this heavy brush, but it's doable. All right, I'll go back and get the weapons in a minute. Really want to get in here and draw out all that extra. Hey, Sword Thief! Look, we got your Breatheth right here. How are you this morning, Trisha? Just going through doing some priming. One of them broke, unfortunately. I was not careful enough. Sorry, I keep holding that over there. Currently I'm priming. Been talking about the process a little bit. Load it up heavy, then go in and take out the excess to bring back the detail. Also to be able to put the brush strokes like in the right direction, like it's a sweeping cape. So I really like to make those go that way. The hood side to side, you know, in U shape. I just like to get everything as close as I can to going with the grain. Get that detail back. Hands. Don't want it glommed up at all, you know? Let me just this a little bit because I keep leaning down. Alright. Go back into the weapons in a minute. Just want to clean up these boots to get that detail back. Personal here again, I'm so sorry. Same thing under the cape. Still like to get it with the swoops in the right direction if I can. Alright, let's get back in here, get these weapons. Yeah, tired but enjoying the free day off. 4th of July, right? Excellent, excellent. I hope those fireworks, you know, stopped at a reasonable time for you and haven't been too bad since. Like, I know it gets frustrating for sure, especially like after hours. Like, I can sort of deal with people doing it. You know, I know it's not legal in a lot of places. I don't even think it's legal to set them off here or something. I get it. I get it a little bit. Not after hours. Not when people are trying to sleep. Like, I get evening time and this and that, but I feel like 10. By 10 o'clock, you just shouldn't be doing. There's plenty of hours of dark. Okay. Go back in and clean out the fingers here. As you can't see, because I'm doing it way off the... Let me move this leg. Maybe that will do the trick. Keep me in line here. Wood dispenser's super busy. Oh my goodness. Wow. Brutal. Just jeez. Yeah, there's too many. I mean, there's puppies, there's animals, there's families, there's people that have to work. There's kiddos, like, you know. Bedtime is, you know, bedtime. Oh, thank you, Sword. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Let's take a second. Oh, maybe I'll add a little stretch in. Great. Oh, sweet mercy. I mean, I stretch all the time, and that was normal. All right, all right. Let's get this floorboard here at the bottom. Yeah. A little bit light on that. I really want to retain the detail. Keep those valleys as valleys, you know. Around the edge here. And we're gonna go into Chaitu Box. I'm so excited. I get to show you how we add supports to 3D files, and save them in a format that the 3D printer will recognize. Then I have a little time lapse of the printing process. That's like the latter half of the printing process because it took a little while to get sorted. But it's this print for these minis, so we'll have that every week. We'll have whatever ones we build out in Chaitu Box today are likely going to be the ones that we do with the that we work on next week. I'll print over the week, do a time lapse for you. That's looking pretty nice. I think we got a nice even coating here. You can see all the shadows and the rivets. We've maintained that detail, the peaks and valleys and blah, blah, blah. We've got, you know, the brush strokes here in the direction of most of the apparel. Just get a little difficult, more difficult to do in some areas than others. And, you know, we're pretty good here with the floorboards. I'm trying to get in there just a little spots. Yeah, so let's bring that nice crease back in here. It's a little difficult to get perpendicular under here. Brush that out, but I think we got it. I think we got it. Yeah. It's like a nice floorboard. We can easily get our paint on there and a nice wash to settle into those rivets. These are all ones I've printed. Yeah. Yep. Here, in fact, let's see, Liazana. Do we have yours are printed already? We got yours because I sent those to Christy, but I guess I don't have any you'd recognize. But here, you know what? Since Mason's here and he already saw so far, we'll do Junie. This is the printed product with the support still on it. So we'll be pulling supports off and culling those and everything as well as part of the show. And don't worry about this character. It's definitely a Saturday night character. That's fine. Don't worry about them. An extremis character all day. All right, we're just gonna go in here and carefully fry that up from the tack. All right, we'll put that one right there. All right, we'll get Gerbil print. Now Gerbil's printed twice again. One's for a giveaway, Michelle's giveaway, and the other is for the actual campaign. He's sending it to Steph once it's all set. Okay. Here we go. All right, same thing. As you can see, there's a lot right with Gerbil. There's a lot going on here, so we'll gonna take a good bit of primer, but we're also gonna have to be careful not to break any of these smaller, more delicate little instruments and such that Gerbil has going on. A lot of, the bent arm and everything. There's just a lot of places to get into here. So I'm gonna kind of zip through this because, again, part of my process is to load it up and then dry brush out the excess to leave it with a nice even coat. But that is all reliant upon getting to it before it starts drying. This is not going to pull back out, obviously, if it started to dry. So speed is going to be the name of the game with this one. Trying to be careful to not break anything and making sure I'm moving along quickly enough to get back. So I might miss an item or two in chat. I'm going to try not to. Of course. I love interacting with y'all and seeing what you chatting about, answering questions and the like. Gotta be extra super careful. I've done it again and drawn it close to me. Extra super careful. Here, I'm just gonna rest my arm at the table so I don't move it. See if that does the trick. This bow that's what broke once before. In the print, not during this. But in the print. Now I know it's extra fragile. Hey, the wild hammer, huh? That's like a pickaxe, sort of like on one side almost. And that hair is like small enough. Like obviously, if you swung this, that's gonna really hurt. But it's also like small enough to be like really like precise, right? It's not gonna crush a skull in its entirety, but it's gonna crack a giant hole through it. It's like even worse. Oof. Alright, sorry Gerbil, we gotta get personal here underneath for a minute. There we go. Alright. I have to be careful too. I just realized Gerbil's on 1 foot and that's okay. Pull the primer out of the brush here. Dry it up nice. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, have fun, Trish. Have fun. Alright, I'm gonna draw it out of his face here first. Bring our detail back. The bugbear, in case that you haven't caught the announcement. I do love when Jonathan says it. Yeah, he's a bugbear and has a lot of detail in the face, partly because of that. A hairy face. Oh yeah, look at that, huh? Yeah, details. Love it. The printer, I really like. I've got two. One I've used for a couple of years, and then I needed a bigger one to do bigger prints. I'm going to be doing all sorts of fun things. Prints and such. I am basically going to be doing a random character in a box, because you know me, I'm fairly creative. We got all these D&D campaigns and everything else, and all the other components to that. So I'm going to be doing building out little basics for characters, and then people can buy like a random character. A lot of people are like, I don't know, let me just give me a random character, and it'll be a mini and a little backstory and a race class and background and things like that, and I'll have some other cute things that go with it. It'll be one of those little surprise packages you can buy from the store. Oh, sorry. Did you build all the campaign character models in Hero Forge as well? Yes. And I did not say before, so you didn't miss anything. I did indeed. I typically just ask the players, please build this out, add color, just so I know what they're looking for in regards to that. and we'll go from there. I'm sorry, kind of strong back there. Just gonna change the direction to go from spine outward a little bit and down to really capture that. I was just impressed. It's like, oh. Like in his character art, he looks kind of like dopey, like not really built or anything. And so it gets me every time. Like, oh my gosh, wait, what? I think Jonathan did some character art too, which is amazing. He's such a good artist. And then yeah, it's pretty nice. You know, that way everyone gets to put in their, you know, in Hero Forge, build it out just the way they want. There's a lot of different options there. They get colored. With this, we'll have an Extremis with minis here. We'll have the Forsaken and Penumbra assembly with minis, because we got, this is where like the support goes. You know, the funds from Patreon and from Twitch, they go into this. Production of equipment's expensive. There's arms, boom arms, and clamping, articulating arms, and lighting, and stands, and cameras, and other things. So we got Steph decked out to cover all the angles needed. You know, production quality wise, I think it's important to have like a camera for players. Obviously, they need to see bird's eye what's going on in the map, roughly bird's eye. But I think for viewers, you know, should have a bird's eye and then like a 45-degree angle down, or like more of a, like, not street level, but slightly above, you know, rooftop level view to be able to peer through. Some of these articulating arms are great too, because you can just kind of swing them around to follow combat, you know? Back in. Alright, just again pulling out some of this extra, get that detail. Okay, just gonna do the base now, then we're gonna get into Chaitu box. Alright, look, it's Gerbil Part Druid, he's got the leaves here and stuff. Yeah, I have all the characters saved. I have in Hero Forge, because I would need to reprint any from from these giveaways. I like to save them, and the characters for all the campaigns, and the ones used in Stormfall. I'm trying to get a little better at drawing, because I have cards that I've been writing up for them. We played for 4.5 years or whatever it was, that campaign. From level 1 to 19, I think we got, before the story wrapped. And I want to send them their minis, you know, all the campaigns I run, you know, when we finish, I like to send them the minis, and you know, just personalize a note. I mean, that's a long time to play with folks and everything. So I have some artsy stuff I want to draw, like little sketch things. So I'm holding out a little bit, because I'd like to get good enough at that to draw a decent little sketch of a scene for each of them. That was like a big scene for me, watching them role play out. But I might be rigid thinking, because I'm gonna get good enough in time. So I might just continue writing up the thing, the cards, and sending them. Okay, our folks, we've got, oh jeez, look at this. I love, it's an SLA printer, I think it's the type, with the resin and at the bottom, and look at that detail. Oh my gosh, especially in the face with the gerbil, with the bugbear. That is so cool. Little wooden panels in the front, like a Hinox in Breath of the Wild, in front of his legs. Yeah, nice. Snap. Just kidding. It's been long enough. I can joke about it now. Right. Alright. Extra stupid careful, since gerbil's connected by only a single foot. At least it's the whole foot. Alright. and let our friends relax there for a minute and move some stuff. Get that in the water, not my coffee. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to, let me open up Chai2Box here, and then I'll do a program grab. Sometimes it opens nicely, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see what today brings. Ooh, it opened nicely. Excellent. Let me move Streamlabs over here. Oops. And we'll just go in and we're gonna add a screen capture. A new one. Right here. Chai2Box. And then it is, I don't want the whole screen, I just want the program, please. Oh, why is it? Why is the program being? No, what's it doing? Why is it behaving for? I just want it to be a full screen thing. I'm not sure. Do you have a thing you're doing? What time is it now? I can try and grab by that. Okay. I just don't know. Well, I'll see if I can. Okay. Thank you. Alright, I'm so sorry. I am gonna close Chai2Box because I don't know why it's being so silly. Alright, let's try that again. No, sometimes it's not opening. Sometimes if I open a second one, the second one will open. Close that one so much. All right, here we go. Now I'm just going to out here and move this around. So, you know, see me a little bit more. This will be fine. Yeah, this will be good for now. That fits kind of nicely underneath there. Okay. Chai2Box, here we are. So this is the program. Really, really straightforward. Not want to let me capture the mouse in it. There it is. Okay. So let's open up some files and see what we can bring in. You'll see I have some already set here. Oh, an ancient red dragon. Don't worry about that. We have PC tokens, NPC tokens, just a few. I really shouldn't show you those because that'll give away some of the stuff. And then 3D map pieces. But let's start with our PC token because we need to redo. I believe it was Zelkaber, Cobalt Soul. Yeah, that it just broke. Yep, there they are. Oh, this poor soul. So as minis come in, they're already set to a particular scale. We have that one highlighted, about 25 millimeters. Is where they're set at. Printing wise, again, this prints upside down, so it actually prints, you know, off of the plate. So some of this will print fine because it's printing upward, but you'll see here, if it's completely perpendicular, the issue is all of this circle is printing at once, right? And that creates a bunch of suction on the as it peels off that film in the bottom of the pan, and it's just a little too great. You don't want that much pressure, so you want to tip it anywhere between like 31 degrees and 45 degrees. You don't really want to exceed. The other reason that it's another factor we have to keep in mind is currently it's all printing off of things that would have already printed, but when we reach a certain point, when it probably is arms, yeah, it's arms, they just start printing out of nowhere. So if they printed right now, they just float off into the pan. They're not connected to anything, and then probably mess up the rest of our print by getting in the middle of that. So that's the other reason anyway that we need to have all the supports. So I'm just going to take a look and see, rotate. I think we're on what, this one? We want to, there we go. But instead of 45, I really like to go around that 31%. Seems to work pretty well. We never really want them to print clean on the plate here either, like flat on the plate, because suction will also mess that back end up. I always like to move them up about 5. We go. Looking great, and this is what they look like. It's why you'll note that they're all sort of, if I can show you up at the top here, you know, that's the angle at which they're all printed here, 31 degrees. The thing is, I need to print this, but I also have other things I need to print. So we're gonna get a little work done while we're in here. I have other items I would like to open here in the map section. Actually just going to come down here and take some 2x2 tiles out of the floors, some supports. Okay. Just 2x2, please. No, I want the magnetic base. There we go. Magnetic base 2x2. Okay. So for the way that the bases work with the other things I'm printing, the actual 3D tiles for 3D maps that we'll be working on the show too. The tiles actually print that are, you know, the floor. Sometimes it's the floor connected to a wall or to a sewer sluice, or you know, rocky stone cave, you know, ground. Well, they all connect. They're the perfect dimensions. Let me just make sure this is a 25. Yep. So 50 millimeters to be 2x2 to this. And these work by being super glued underneath those after you put in these little spherical magnets, 5 millimeter spherical magnets that spin in place to match, you know, the attractive polarity of whatever one you put next to it. It doesn't matter. They'll spin in place in their socket, but then they're sealed because sitting on top of this is the actual floorboard. So it's really, really neat. Now these are a little tricky to print. I'm actually not going to do them now because we'll have to cover a lot of info if I go through those. But I do want to show you those because there's some really cool, again, sewers, caves, streets, houses, you name it. There's just so much out there with and free. There's this OpenForge 2.0, which is just an open source interlocking system for this. It's like a set of design schematics that you follow to match and work with this. I've got a ton of these magnets, some Tudor house building stuff ready to go. Oops. There's city streets complete with manhole covers and all these other cool things. Just can't wait to have these as the maps and stuff in the campaigns. For today, let's stick with our friend here. Once we have however many selected. If I had more, I'd have to select all the ones I want to build supports out for. We'd go over to the support function on the right here. And gosh, so this is going to be really, I'm going to just roughly cover this because there's so many different options. There's different, if you're building out yourself, there's the very base, and I like to do a raft because it has this slant to it, so it's easy to get under with. It's sort of like a plastic putty knife to carefully scrape it off of without scratching anything off of the plate. And it's sturdy and solid all the way through, as opposed to you could do none, and then it just has a little tiny square at the base of all of the supports. Maybe they line up and make a more solid piece, maybe they don't. So I like having a skate. There's a bunch of other things again, and what's the thickness of this raft? So many details you can change here. But for now, I'm going to do a heavy raft. That's what I usually have to go with. Then there are bottom supports. These are the ones that are attached, as it implies, at the very bottom here. So you can just go in and start attaching. Has to be at the lowest point, because if it isn't, then there's nothing to support it as it prints. So it goes around a little, but we'll clean that up. I like to just be extra here with these first few supports, the very base. Because they're vital. Okay. Again, we want to go around. Now we can do this in an auto mode. I'm going to kind of walk through this process a little bit, the share, and then I'll cover the auto mode. But again, I'm just going to skip through this a little quicker because we don't need all the details, right? You go along. You don't want too many because you're wasting resin. And if you don't need the support, you don't need the support. It'd be more of those burrs that you'll have to cut off as well. Then you go to the middle supports, which are just that, you know. The final supports, the light ones, are for areas that don't really need it. But middle ones would be, you know, this elbow's going to come out of nowhere. So that needs a support. I try and put it on a face that's not going to be difficult to clean off, but it does have to be underneath so that it has a place to print from. Really like to double up. And you can go in and change all sorts of things. The tip, how wide the tip is here, how far into the mini that it technically goes. Let's see, the diameter of it all, the angle. I usually like to have them a little less. You can see these are still pretty thick up here, so I would have to go in and I would actually adjust bottom and then middle a little thinner, a little lighter, and then the top ones would be extra thin. You see these are all like the same size roughly. Top ones have a slightly thinner thing here. So I'm just going to remove all those for now. Manual's good, especially if you're doing repeat builds, like all the blocks and everything I'm going to be doing. Because once you find, like I do test runs, what's going to work, what's going to be flat across, you know, those tiles, they've got to be smooth and flat and not have any bowing and preserve all their detail. So I like to do it manually with that. But once I have it, It's where you try and minimize how many you need while maintaining the support. Or you can go in and down bottom here, you'll see this auto option. So the main thing here is the density. You know, 100% of course maxes it all the way out, as you can see in their little graphic. So doing 53% here, I could do just the platform, or do the platform and everything with the plus all. So we'll just see what it calculates. So you can see it's kind of what we were doing, right? It has sort of a minimal amount at the bottom to make sure that it prints, and then has some of the elbows like we had, And because this hand is far enough away, it has that. I'm gonna go up here just because this hand's going to be free floating. I'm going to add a very light support here. It'll attach to the base. We'll clean that off in the stone, just to keep it doing its thing. Everything else it's going to attach to the thing there. It's great. I want to add one at the nice easy spot to clean here. Back of the head. Connect it here. Back of the shoulder. We'll just play it safe. Play it safe. We don't and maybe it's because they're on the smaller side. Maybe they're a halfling and the ankles were a little thin or something. Why they broke. But yeah, so once you're set, you would come back over here. You just double check. Oh, I should mention it does have a cool feature where any area that doesn't have support turns more red. You can see how there's some like red areas in here. So you kind of have a good idea of like, okay, if I want to add another little support, I can throw one in there. It does a pretty good job of showing like the areas with grass. So yeah. So once you're done, you come back. You would go to, so these are the settings for the printer. I've got an LG Mars 2 Pro. It's one I used for a couple of years, and then the Saturn S, which is just a much larger print bed and stuff. And you can choose, it calculates how much it might cost based on the resin, how much you paid for gram or milliliter. And then these are all the details, and these change. These aren't the same always. Some builds, especially larger ones, need different layer heights, how tall each layer is. You don't want them too tall because you'll see them, you'll see the ridges in them, and you don't want them too tiny or they're, it's going to take a lot of time. There's other cons and pros to each thing. How many of the bottom layers there are, because that bottom layer typically has a much longer exposure time. Like here's a normal exposure time for each layer, 3 seconds, but the bottom layer, and however many you set, 7 in this case, is 60 seconds exposed to that infrared light to really set it in place. Anyway, when you're all set, you just go to slice and save it, and you're good. You then have a file. Nice, and just remind you some of those main settings down here, and you can go to save, and it becomes a CTB file for you to print. And I'm not actually going to save this one here because I do want to go in and fine tune it before I do that. But that's it. That CTB file goes on a USB that plugs into the printer, and you're good to go. And when you're done, yeah, because I'm going to pull that back up. Close this and bring this back. Oops. This back over here. That brings us back to. Well, actually, let me run our quick little. It's like a 10 or 15 second run of a time lapse print. Yeah, it's going to come up in the bottom here. But it goes, really quickly. Here it goes. You can see it prints from the bottom up. I'll run it a second time when it's done here. And it goes down, prints that next layer, and pulls up to allow resin to fill back into its space. And I'll run it once more. Up it goes. You can see the Canon camera there. I use one of my DSLRs for it. Yeah, and those are these minis. Giveaways and the others here. Yep. So now let's get in and we'll start kind of removing some of these supports on some of these other ones. Now these Forsaken creatures are gonna head to Steph. So I think we'll work on these a little bit. We have our offset. You can see their little offset. Flush pliers, cutting pliers. And snip. Just kidding. That's what we're gonna be rocking here. I am actually not going to remove any of them yet around this air bow right here. I don't want to wait till the very end, because then when I'm cutting anything else, it's going to be tugging on those. But in the same sense, I also don't want to do it right away and drop all support for that in the beginning. So I'll just kind of carefully try and navigate it. I'll remove these at the end because they're kind of separate from everything else, and just keep the last thing that keeps it attached to this base. But this is just part where we have to go in and be extra careful here. Sometimes it's even tough to tell where, like, you know, and I try to manage supports so that this doesn't become a thing. But sometimes, like, you need a support on the tip of this weapon here, and it's pretty easy to see where one ends and the other begins. But you know, sometimes it's an artistic choice because you need the support there. But then if it's in a similar shape and angle, tough to tell where one ends, where the others begin. I like to snip a lot away at the base so that when they loosen at the top, when they ideally these are loose enough to offer a little tug and they'll break free. If they don't break free with a little tug, and that's like for secure areas only, then I wait. I'll go back. We do not need things breaking that we don't want to break. Right. And a lot of this really is just kind of tedious work. You go in, take a look where these are connecting. That's some of this free, this lattice work. And then, you know, it breaks free, you can cut it, now you have access to the ones behind it. We like to keep a careful eye out for anything that's delicate first. If it's delicate and standalone, it'll cut that free pretty early. Can you print in one run? 4 wide, couldn't see how many deep. It depends on the size. I had this printing with it too, and that's like 2.5 times the size of the others. I could probably get 10 minis in one run with the big printer. The only reason I had the 4 is because this one needed to be in there, sort of. And it just takes up so much more space. Yeah, probably 10. If they're you know, medium-sized creatures, even slightly large medium-sized creatures, upwards of whatever that would be, 8 feet or something. We'll carefully get around his ear here. I'm gonna clip this free because that's connected to that bow, and I really don't want to mess with that. The trickier parts are when this cross bracing is great for printing, but then everything wants to hang on to everything else when you go to clip it away. So figuring out what's connected, which cross brace is connected somewhere. That's why, you know, the piece we want to drop isn't dropping. Ideally, I'll get as close as I possibly can to the mini, you know, flush with it. It's the purpose of these pliers. And so as to not leave a little nub, but it's inevitable. We're going to end up with some of those, and we will just sand them down carefully later on. I've cut those, but they haven't come off. I need to be careful because I can see the base of that weapon's right down here. Connected. Cross brace, I don't want that messing anything up. What's still in here? Why does it so want to know what I can? Maybe it's other one here. Now I don't have my X-Acto knife, but that's the other thing that's really handy to use. I get in here, and I don't want these two items are supports, but I don't want to mess with the hand there too. I'm gonna clear this. So I can remove that. Not going on. These. This is a cross brace. Let me get rid of that so I can take this whole piece out. Hey, we're starting to see gerbil. Exciting. This is all free at the bottom now, but I see another cross brace. I'm gonna loosen that up. I'm gonna make sure this is clear from the bottom of this weapon. So it's just one more way inside here, trying to hang on to that. The arrow. Let me see if I can clear this whole section here so we can deal with that. Yeah, here we go. We can get in a little better now. All right. Carefully work this piece. I can put in here. I'm looking through. Oops, I'm looking through this side here to try and see like where this connects. Sometimes it just gets a little iffy. I think we got it now. There we go. There we go. Excellent. All right, we're making progress here. Leg supports, but we'll get to those. Let's clean these off the back nice and flush. Yeah. Looking good up. Get this pointed here. Clear these off the quiver. Got some base work here, some cross braces. We're getting over to that area that houses our bow. I want to be extra careful. The cross braces through here. Again, great for support in the printing process. Sometimes I'll pull them out if I know they're disconnected from the body and they're just, you know, stuck to something at the very bottom. And I can see there's no cross bracing connected. But I'll pull. Try and do it very sparingly, because if you pull when a cross brace is connected to some other vital piece, you know, the pressure gets applied over there, and then you break the piece. Clean this off the bottom here of his cape or outfit. That. Okay. Yeah, and just clear it as much as I can so I can see through here too. We've got a good half of this stuff cleared off now. And we're getting near this bow, and I don't want the bow to be the last thing. I don't want that. I'm going to start working on this very carefully. Very carefully. The tricky part is having the cross bracing, because sometimes it wants to bend. Regular bracing here. And in turn, the bow. That just get rid of that cross bracing. Okay. Where it gets a little nerve-wracking. Alright, let's take a careful look at what's connected where. End of our bow. We have another there. One around the corner. Here. Beneath, let's come at that one from the other direction, I think. Okay. Another one, oof, close underneath here. Easy. And alright. I can carefully cut that cross bracing. Yep, I just want this piece entirely disconnected. Alright. at the base here. I'm gonna just giving a gentle tug to see if anything's still connected, and it feels like this piece is still. Now that I can see everything's cleared, I can kind of pull it off the bottom because we don't care about this piece at all at this point. Okay, so there's, yeah, it looks pretty clean. Nice. Okay, break these off of his bracer here. Bugbear bracers. A couple of these come up front. This is for the arrow, so still want to be extra careful with that. Cross bracing is going to hang us up if we try and cut this free. Yeah, nice, nice. Well, oh, sorry. Here we are. Little tiny support in here. Get that out nicely. Get it from the side there. All right. We're gonna clear off the clothes. All right, just gonna try and clear down bottom here a little bit too. All right. Got foot clear. What else is connected in here? Put here. Oh, this one's. There we go. Woo! Another little tiny support. Behind this. Just go in and clip that out. All right, now we're really just left with supports under the base here. So let's tackle these last. Now these are pretty handy because once you get some of them broken, you can almost kind of bend it off the rest. But that does at least nubs, but you know, production ones like this, you're not going to see the bottom, but also I'll just sand it down anyway. However, I may not do that because again, gerbil here is only connected by 1 foot to the base. Really don't want to put too much pressure. This is a good illustration though, like it needs the spinny supports, but while you don't want them too dense, it's also when you're going in trying to clear these out, trying to get these pliers in or an X-Acto knife, can become a real pain if you have like series and series of these things to cut through. A lot of cross bracing here too, in depth, further in, so it makes it a little tricky sometimes to actually clear these and get to the next row. Cutting the tops, but also trying to get into this cross bracing a bit. Sideways here. Bonsai clippers, yeah. You know, I mean, the whole process kind of feels like that too. Patience, very determined actions. For real, fair. A very good call. Little angled flush pliers, offset flush pliers. Alright, we've gotten quite a few here. I'm gonna say I just hold the base. Okay, so there's a couple nubs in the back here. We'll move up. Then we'll come through and sand. Sanding. Trying really hard just to hold the base and not gerbil at all, since he's really not connected to the base. He is, you know, but with 1 foot really Doesn't cut up. Case. Right. So we have a gerbil. Excellent. Let's see. So I think our primer is pretty primed. And the big thing I really wanted to focus on today is painting up our giveaway ones from the giveaways we had. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away for a quick minute to throw all these bits out, right? You probably can't see all the bits, but throw these bits out. And then I think I'm going to see. Then I'm going to get paint set so we can start working on the actual painting of our giveaway ones. Because we can, what we'll do is, you know, I'll remove a lot more of the supports from these other ones. That's another. It's just clear. We have that gerbil. Oh, right. This gerbil we don't need because this is the one that broke. This is, I had to reprint that. I'm like, why do we have 3? Anyway, I can remove, that was Tegan. Yeah, check that out, huh? Pretty cool. It's got the little lamp and stuff. Anyway, I'll remove all this and then off stream, I'll continue, you know, cropping this and everything else. And these will be the ones we'll print next week. Prime next week, rather. Likely. I do really want to get them the stuff so we can have minis for the campaign. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna throw these out. I'll be right back. Get my palette back here, and then we'll do a little bit of painting. Maybe 3 minutes. That's it. Get my paint out, and oh, I'm excited. And I'll put these out here for now and see if it wants to focus on those. I guess we'll see. Got our gerbil. No, we already have our gerbil for the giveaway. Right, one of them broke. That's why we only have 4, Dan. So we will work on these. Hey, welcome back, Trish. I'm taking about 3 minutes, and let's see if I can get it to focus in on those. And then we'll be back. We'll start working on the painting piece. Throw out all this garbage from the pruning. No, I'm gonna be here for a bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick break to throw this out and get the paint stuff. So catch you all in a moment. Hey. Right. I'm back. They're drinking coffee and eating yogurt. Oh, nice. Chris, that's awesome. Yeah, I hope you go for it. I'm gonna have myself a sugar cookie. Oh. Okay. Bring our expert palette back in. And I'm gonna be going in the painting process anyway. I don't really like to swath anything on, so this is not the ideal brush for that, of course. So I'm probably gonna nope, be going between these two. You can see this one's gotten a little frayed, but it does a good job covering most of the open areas. And then this one here is great for minor points, of course. Okay. So these other screen, they're just gonna chill off. Well, these, let's see. Since that's a great idea. Oh, I should have stretched. I mean, right, I stretch all the time. Stretching's totally normal for me. Oh. Did I sell it? You mug that Lily got me. I like to use it when DMing too. Dungeon Meowster. Hey, look at that kitty cat face. Meow 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 meow. Meow. Cute. All right. Let's see. I feel like we've got Zen here, right? And of course, we've got Trish here too, who also has one. But Zen was here first today, so. And now I've got an order, right? We'll do Zen's, and then we'll do Breelith, because that's Trish's. All right, I'm going to pull up the link, or our chat rather. I don't have to do that. I have it actually saved. Ha 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 ha. All right, let's go to Hero Forge, right? Where we're trying to get. Hero. Good. Yogurt. So Trish. Hope you stream. I like your stream. I'm not logged in. What? I have to click 2 buttons to sign in. What? All right, let's see. What I need to. No, I don't need to know. Because your character's so incredibly unique. Find this amazing water genasi. Oh, there they are. Oh, look at these colors, and it's so cool. Wow. Yeah, very, very oceanic. Oh, it's kelp. And it's a little seahorse, and oh my gosh. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun painting this. So it's sand on the bottom, seashell, either some mollusks or just stones, from the ocean floor. Starfish. Oh, that was acting wonky yesterday. I don't know if you noticed that. Converting symbols to HTML. You know what? Now that you mention it, I have chat on here. Why isn't it showing up? What's the dealio with that? Yeah, no, I haven't seen that today, but then again, it's not working here, so just sign in. That's what that other little panel is supposed to be in the bottom. Oh, now it's working. And it is converting it to HTML. Oh, it looks like it started popping in. But why? Look at that. The apostrophes shifted. Well, whatever. Fix that later. Wild. Thanks for the heads up, Trish. Jeez. Okay, where to start? What a, let's look at this incredible creature here. Where do we want to start on this? For me, it varies. It varies. Um, Typically, I try and go to the deepest layer first, like the skin. But depending on how it overlaps with other things, I might not do that. Um, Hold this up a little closer to me here. That's that. Okay. Bridge. All right. If I will go for the skin first. We'll go for the skin first. We do the alpha. Covers a lot. We'll go for the skin first today. And this is a very interesting color. It's certainly maybe its base is sort of a aqua marine color, more on the side of green, but it has some fair bit of gray in there too to bring it down. Tone down. These are I've got two color kits. There's one. A lot of interesting colors, and then I have one for like leathers and metal. Oh no, Zen, this is incredible. I'm thrilled. I was just like, I was squeeing over it was seaweed and a seahorse. I wasn't sure if it was magic or not at first, but it's like a piece of seaweed, kelp or whatever, and then a little adorable seahorse at the top. Oh, no, I love all the shades of green and blue and the oranges and yellows and reds. Blues. If I didn't say that, looks really, the sword looks awesome. With a little engraving in the lower blade. Love it, love it, love it. So I feel like this is a pretty good base color. We're gonna start. Actually, I gotta shake that up. Could be deceiving. It's separated. Which one is this? A goblin green? No, that's not. The dark green. We'll go from there. Dark green. We'll add a little blue. There's definitely blue in the skin tone. I think we're going to be adding a little gray. There's a lot of specular highlights and stuff on this. I know you can't see it, but on the Hero Forge thing, they add a lot of that shading with the surrounding. Give this a mix through here and see, just to see where we're at with this initial color. Ugh, that's really green. Add our relatively light blue here. I think it'd be a good option. I'm not sure how much, but it's going to be a decent bet. I'm going to give it 2 drops and see how that goes. There's definitely going to be some gray in here, although this might come up a little dark. It might actually be white we add. Okay. All right. This is part of the process. Well. Alright, this is all by eye, so sometimes it takes me a hot minute. Mix it without spreading it too thin, too. Alright, so we've got actually a moderately decent one. See? we need more blue. We need to bring it up too. A little more blue. We'll do 2 more drops of blue, and then we'll add a white because it's already going to be pretty dark, and we just need to bring that up shade. I'll just keep so beautiful, so incredible, the detail and everything. Just to clarify that its beauty is in its detail and complete aesthetic, and that beauty alone is not a standard in which to judge. All right, come on, Michael. Don't be so obstinate here. They'll come out with like 18 different. Dried up in the hand. So before I blow this out, I'm just going to nice. Oh, that's so cool. Not a little bit. I'm just getting in here with her. I'm trying, and without spreading too much of it too thin. All right, we're getting into that other color range that we were looking for here. Good. You can see it going from that really green. This is pretty good. It's just not going to be quite light enough. Now, our wash at the end will affect that, but I do really want it to be bright enough to say so. I'm probably going to add more. I think we've got, if you look at that, I think that's pretty close to the greens and blues of the base color. A little more green, actually. Let me add a touch of the goblin green and some white. A little bit of this green in there because it's a brighter green. I get some white out of this thing again. There we go. Dry this off so we don't get any water in it. Hey, I think we got it. I think we've got it. Maybe just a little more green. It looks a little different in person than it does on the camera. Like I'm looking on the camera and it looks more blue. Looks much more green in person, but I am going to add a little more green because I do really want that. I think that's a very big part of the color blend overall. So I'm going to do a little more of this goblin green since it's lighter. Yeah, there it is. Again, much more green in person. I keep looking up at the camera like, and it looks so blue on that. But this looks very, very spot on here in person. So I think I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, that looks like almost exactly on in person. Make sure I swallow up the rest of that everything's thoroughly mixed here. Okay, clearly too much, you know, for precision painting. Yeah, no problems then, no problem. I mean, looking at it on camera, like on stream here, like it looks blue with a little green, but in person, has a lot more green, and it really matches really well. So I think I'm gonna go. It looks, I mean, it looks like a different color altogether as I'm looking at it on the plate and on the monitor. But obviously, you'll have it in person, so we're gonna go with that. And we can use some wash to sort out what the dealio is around that too, to kind of change that tint if it darkens a little too much or anything. Okay. Oh, yep. So I'm just gonna be looking at the model here a little bit too. Sure I don't miss anything. The ears, he thinks. Yeah, I'm gonna use the finest brush because it's pretty they're pretty minute. You can see, I say, as I'm holding up. Dear, I like the ears is so tiny. I just, part of me always wants to like print minis at twice the size and just deal with that because it'd be so much easier to paint. Just gonna get in here, and we can be a little not sloppy, but I can get around a little more now and just fix it later and cover anything that spills over with I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to add. Already looking really dark. They painted up. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little more white before I continue, because that just looks weird. And it's only gonna dry darker. Yeah, yep. I figure once I get the hair, I'll just cover. That's usually how it goes. Let's just brighten this up a bit here. Use the other brush too. Bless you, I think. Okay. Start with the other ear, let the paint dry a little on the other side. So it's right there, it's pretty good. Pivot this around, make sure thing. Oh yeah. Set back a little. Right. A bit. Oh, just let it get the hair a bit. Base coat on the face, and then do the eyebrows, which are a slightly different shape after. Keep doing this off. Hair goes down pretty far in the face. I'm gonna go extra light on this because easy to go heavy and then mask the details. Really don't want to. A little down here. The necklet here. Alright, that's mostly the necklace there. Which again, I'll just come back and paint over. I want to make sure I get no little crevices around that necklace. Back and do the eyebrows. Here's slight shade. We have the shoulders out. Down to the armband. Hi. Depending on streaming the camera between you and the model. Yeah. Try not to like drop out of screen with the main camera and hold this one out so that we don't miss any so you all can see what's going on. Stick with the front for now, then I'll take a look at what the back looks like. Could be a necklace up here that we're sort of working around currently. Wallet. I'll go back in, we'll color the necklace in proper after. A pauldron on the side here that comes down, so I'll make sure I'm getting that. With the wedge of skin, exposed skin. Eraser. Back here. We just spin her around. Yes. Same thing on the other side is a bit of a pauldron. To get that pauldron painted up there. I see it. Yes. Okay. We're just gonna try and get a little sliver of it. And otherwise, pauldron, and then we're back. Like to try and kind of paint again. in the way that the muscles go, you know, like with the grain of things. So from the back towards the spine, with a little bit of an, you know, arch on the shoulder blades. Best I can. Now I'm just gonna try and get along the base of the clean across the back here, the exposed part of the back. Up when we paint the here to get under the hair. It is. We'll be redoing painting the hair as we've talked about. Layers, all layers. Get everywhere I can right now. It overflows a little. Come back to this, you know. Yeah. Look at me, getting some skin sorted here, and I think we've really, again, the color's a little different in person than on here. We've really nailed the color. Thankfully, sometimes that takes a hot minute, or I have to restart because I'm unable to get enough rooms to go around. Oh, sorry, my AirPods wanted to fall out really badly there. Covering this other ear again quickly with the newly shaded, somewhat brighter shade in tone. Alright, I don't really more exposed skin in the back, but we do need to finish the arms. So okay. Beautiful, like cool seaweed wrap kind of armor here. Looks really interesting, really neat. That down a little bit here because inside the wrist. And again, we can splash over a little bit because this is effectively the bottom layer. Why I do it this way. When we come in later, we can just very carefully paint on the rest of it. For the next layer up, it's armor, clothing, otherwise. Here we're getting all the way around. Pretty nice. Seems in here we get the inside, we need to get okay, and then carefully. Oh man, I wish I had a different light for that. Let's try and do it this way. I'm sorry you won't really be able to see it with me here, but need the light. The back part of her arm on this other side will be a little tricky. I'll make sure I'm getting it. in a shadowy place, so it's pretty good. Get it up against the armor and the brace, that first brace. And the hand. And again, there's a little extra piece of armor in here, but we'll just have to deal with that after. Try and go in line with the fingers here. I'm not too worried about creating depth with this first base coat. I'll do that with a wash later on. We've done it a little bit with our primer already. All right. A little dab more in the hands. Eye brush back just here. We're not warming it up at all on the fingers. All right. Let's see. Got some exposed skin on in the very center here. Pretty cute. There. Against the clothing as best I can without going over. Going over some of the clothing, as you can tell, but again, we'll just paint that in as long as we've got all this set. The lower. Okay. Some on the legs here. Thank you all for joining me today too. I mean, we've got a little more time here. I'm just really excited to have you all here. Had the idea for the show quite a while ago, since it's like the whole process from, you know, the whole printing to the painting and all that. We'll put Zavar up here too. Let's get some friends up and in the shot. Vegan. And I love doing this work. Really love doing this work. Getting better at it. Hopefully. I've definitely seen some improvement. I have a long way to go, but I love doing the work, and it's so nice to be able to do it with all of you now. Got our cool giveaway minis here. It's just a lot more fun with y'all in the community. Alright, we'll paint over that with the boots, the next layer. I think my paint's starting to get a little bit dry, so get a little glommy. Not glommy and clumps on the mini, but more difficult to spread around. So. And shell. Right. The leaf of the boot. That's the front of the knee. Yeah, I think that's all of the exposed. Yeah, did I get this hand? I didn't get that. The shell, that's so cool. I love this armor. Oh, so great. The shell. And comes into play right about here. Shell shapes just around that edge. Side of the hand here a little bit as well. Get up, my gosh. X really drying up. I'll get it in there. Side of the hand there. And the ends well. There we go. Ooh. All right, so we have, you know, the base notion of skin tone. We'll be doing some reworking. You know, we'll have a wash later. Our other layers like hair and clothing and other stuff will be painted on and covering up where, you know, top of this. We've got hand nicely behind here. Armor in there we're not touching just yet. Yeah, the legs that are exposed in the armor. Torso spot, which again we'll clean up with the other part. This phone calls message feature. Is it? Oh no! Sword, yikes! That's a heart attack we don't all need, right? I'm glad you figured it out before it got too like, what's going on? Best of luck. I hope it goes really well. Sure it will. You're an awesome person and employee, and lucky to have you. Nice sword. Yeah, that seems like a problem. All right. There isn't much else that's in that same realm of blue-green, which is good because most of it dried up. The eyebrows match the hair. And so definitely more of the goblin green. I think that's maybe the next thing that we'll tackle before. Yeah, because there's some that's like underneath the seaweed wrap. So that'll be the next layer up here on the eyebrows. I think I'll do that, and then I'll keep the blue out just in case I do it. And then I'll probably have to. Right. So we're going to start off with some goblin green for this one, which is almost spot on. That's almost spot on. There's just a little too much like red, I think, in this one. So I might just add. I don't know. That's really good. That's really close. I might just add some white and lighten it up. And then if I need to, I'll add a tiny, tiny bit of blue. I've offset that. White, a good shake, is what made this dry up so quickly. So, the dry spot. Oh. Alright, use this other brush. Mix. Start out with just this white here and see how this goes. This definitely has like a kelp vibe, seaweed vibe. I'm gonna add just a touch of blue. Just a touch. This is just a little bit red. It still has a little bit of like a sea. Yeah. A like pea soup kind of into it. It's very kelpy, but just not. It's just a little off. And that's gonna bother me. So. I really hope that goes well, Sword. That's so exciting. This one. Yeah. Alright, that's not too much, so bring it back here with some more green. Gotta spread out too far. I'm trying so hard not to, but alright. Gonna darken, of course, as a prize. And then we can add a green wash to it, I think. Finish it off nice. I'm gonna add more green now before I call it quits on the 20 bubbles. I just actually almost to sneeze. Yikes. Oh, good fish. Yeah, I really hope it goes through. I think it will. They're really awesome. They got back to you nice and quickly. Not like Okay. Yeah. This, and we will wrap up. So here in the front, and we'll just sort out the headdress later, but there's a lot that's here with the hair. Here. Which one? We'll probably do a little bit of that. Each of them. That would be fine. Right now, these eyebrows they're really not in colors. Very. That cool green as well. Get some of the bigger portions. Keep it under the thing, man. Okay, I'm gonna try and go with a crane. Needed brush strokes to. Here below. For this. To maintain detail. Brush through those areas. Out to the edges. Get some more detail areas here. A lot of that's headdress, but let's just cover it just in case. All the way in front there. Whole area. Oof, and the underneath. And for this under where do I need to be? Over here? There we go. Yeah, I'm getting in here, but trying not to eat the shoulder hair. Pivot this a little bit. Right here. This. Endpoints here. Tail. Little divots at the end here. Okay. Here. All here. We try and get in here with him. I'll do a final examination at the end, see if I've missed any spots or messed anything up, and do a little repaint. Fix it. Looking pretty good. Really isn't much in the way of hair that's up here. A lot of this is headdress. Just stuff and headdress. So different colored eyebrows, nicely done. All right, so oops. There we go. All right, here we are. Got the skin painted so far, overlapping a little bit with some of the other stuff. We'll cover that up. And the hair, like again, overlapping that headdress, a little messy up top here where it overlaps, but that's fine. That's the next layer up. Oh, nice part. Beautiful. Yeah. Yep, there we have it. There we have it. Yeah, I might do, we'll see, maybe some special streams of this week, so we can get, otherwise I'll just work on these offline. I just wanted to get these started, on the show, so, viewers, hopefully, which I was really glad, Zen, that you're here, and Trish, glad that you're all here. Glad that two of you are here specifically, in addition to the general gladness, because you could see some of the work being done for the minis and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely love it. It's coming along nicely. We'll get a bunch of other stuff. That was so many beautiful colors on this setup. I really can't wait till they all come together. And I get to paint. I'm really looking forward to painting the base here because at the base of it is sand. It's all sand. You can see a little starfish right there, and the other stuff is a seashell, and then this kelp, and that's a seahorse at the top. You can maybe see some of the detail of that. It's a little seahorse. Oh, I can't wait. That's so cute. All right. Well. Well. It's that time. It's that time because Lily's got some streaming that she does this time of night. So, thank you all for hanging out and watching the first episode of From Print to Paint. If you had fun, consider giving us a follow. If you don't already, be alerted to all our content. We have a bunch of art goodies. There's some professional mini painters like Christy. Thank you so much, Mason. That shares her insights with Steph on how to mini paint. This is From Print to Paint, where we cover like the printing process, the program, how to build out these supports, and Chaitu box, time lapse of the print. We remove supports, do everything from just literally from print to paint. We have a ton of D&D. If this wasn't a giveaway across the week, so yeah, give us a follow. You'll be alerted to all the amazing content. And thank you all so much for being here. It's a lot of fun. This stream From Print to Paint will be every Monday noon to 3, typically. I might do a few extras just to get to the minis for the giveaways live so that the people that won can tune in and watch if they want. Well, take care. Have a great day. And see you soon. Bye, friends. Bye.